Hey, what's up, y'all? Happy Thursday. I'm doing this video today to share with you some secrets. My 30 years experiment in being a lab rat, being a kangaroo. So I've got a couple stories to share that are relevant to the world of peptides today in 2026. So if you bear with me, this is just for entertainment value. These are some personal experiences, some personal stories. And this is my dog down here. I gotta give him love, Bubba. Yeah, just share with you some stories that are kind of relevant to the topic of peptides. So bear with me here for a little bit. Making breakfast, just got back from the gym. It's 12:24. Fasted cardio. I do an hour of fasted cardio every day. 20 minutes in the sauna, 20 minutes doing red light therapy, cold plunge, part of my routine. But that's not what this video is about. So I'm gonna jump into my first story here, dating back to 1993, 94, not college football, high school football, Scottsdale, Saguaro. All right, so I started juicing back then. The goal was to get bigger, stronger, faster. Our football team had lost years and years and years. We're the doormat of high school football here in the valley, and a couple of us decided that we don't want to lose anymore. So we went down to Mexico and bought us some juice. Oh geez, so many memories that are coming to mind. Anyway, we used to go down there and buy testosterone mainly. Used to be the Sustanon 250 ready jets. We were paying like 25 bucks a shot. Just me and a couple friends. And well, they were made in Mexico, okay? So this is not exactly pharmaceutical grade, but it was pretty popular at the time, and we didn't have access to a lot of things that we do today that are legal, okay? So go down to Mexico, get our ready jets, and right here. Now, the funny story, I think this is funny, is Coach Beck comes up to me. It's the day after the injection, and I'm limping around, and God dang, that was a bad shot. So I'm limping like my leg, like I can't move my right leg. Johnson, what the hell's wrong with you? Coach, Steve opened up his truck door and just nailed me in the hip. It's like, okay, all right. So he walks off. So the next week, my buddy Steve, same thing. Like just bad injection, sore, like your leg goes numb. Steve, they used to call him Wild Bitch back then. I won't say his real name because his mom's on my Facebook, but what's the deal? Why are you limping around? Oh, Johnson bumped the car door in me. It's like, that's weird. 2 weeks in a row, you guys. Stop fooling around in the parking lot. Next week, it's Joey, little sophomore, limping around back. It's like, let me guess, damn car door. Yep. Injecting Mexican juice had some side effects. Probably not the cleanest, most sterile stuff out there. So Coach Beck, oh man, loved him. By the way, he went on, my high school coach, side story, he was like the offensive coordinator of Nebraska, Texas University, coached at Ohio State, offensive coordinator, got his first gig at Coastal Carolina. He was the head coach. He just got fired this year, but awesome coach. And anyway, we lot of good memories with Coach Beck, and not so good memories too. But anyway, so this is back in '94, and I'm learning at a young age, 17 years old or whatever at the time, that all right, there's some consequences to injecting things in your body that are not super sterile. Doesn't matter. Our motto at the time was whatever it takes. That's what was on our shirts. That was the motto for the team, whatever it takes. So no pain, no gain. Well, anyway, fast forward the next year, I graduated. The whole team's on the program by the time I graduate, and they won state. I think they won state like 9 out of the next 12 years. So anyway, what we were doing actually works, and everybody got bigger, stronger, faster. So now I'm in my 20s and still pursuing muscle, okay? It's just an ego guy thing, and I was addicted to the pump. If you ever watched Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the pump, just talk about the pump. For those of you that have seen Pumping Iron, he refers to it as something else, which is kind of funny. But anyway, back pursuing muscle. I'm no longer, I was still going to Mexico. That was still a regular thing. Then we found these longevity clinics. So this is around the time period of Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire and the whole PED scandal. Jose Canseco comes out and rats on everybody. Well, down in Florida, there was these longevity clinics where you could go there, go online, and basically buy any of the anabolics that you wanted. And they were made in the United States, compounding pharmacy. They were clean, they were good. And we did that for several years. That was awesome. You know you're buying from a legit source. The prices were pretty fair, and again, pursuing muscle. So I forget what year it is, and you can look it up. But right around this time, it was Senator John McCain here in Arizona. Just had a big hard-on for PEDs. He just wanted to remove it from sports. Remove it from sports and just shut down all the healthy options to obtaining these anabolics. So McCain puts them all out of business. Okay. All right. Well, we're still going to do something. At the time, I was doing the longevity clinics, and I had a doctor in Scottsdale that I could get testosterone and growth hormone from. I'm going to kind of bounce around with this story a little bit, but it's all related to peptides. So anyway, I'm going up to Sonora and Quest, or Sonora and Naturopath, and getting growth hormone there. We're also getting growth hormone from AIDS patients. So they would get real pharmaceutical grade growth hormone, and we're buying them from AIDS patients, and it was kind of expensive. It was like $1,500 a kit, but again, we're dummies, so we were doing that. Through Popio, or I shouldn't have said his name, through the doctor, there became a point where McCain shut everything off as far as growth hormone. He goes, I could still prescribe the test, just not the growth, but there's these new things out there called peptides, and they're growth hormone releasing, and they act like growth hormone, but without the side effects. So that's when I first kind of got into peptides, back in, I think, 2004-ish. As far as somewhere during, God, it must have been the early 2000s, after the longevity clinics shut down, I was introduced to a website, Napsgear, that you could go to, and had every pharmacy throughout the world that were selling anabolics. So you could pick out whatever you wanted to. Back in the day, we used to go to Western Union, drop off a bunch of money, and hope that in 3 to 4 weeks, we'd get a package that showed up and had our stuff in it. I forgot, I'm making A's, so I'm gonna try to do this at the same time. So, that was back in the day. That's how we used to buy the stuff back then. Western Union, hope that they showed up and hope that it was good, hope that it wasn't gonna kill us. Now, most of the pharmacies back then were China, India. So, Genesa Labs, GP, geez, I'm trying to think of the other one. It's on the tip of my tongue. I was buying pretty consistent because I found that even though there was some side effects to it, it was real stuff. It was getting bigger and stronger. You know what? I'm not gonna be able to do this at the same time. So the injections back then through the China labs and through India, same thing is that there was like I'd be paralyzing my leg every time I did it. I went from shooting in the quad to in the glutes, and sometimes there's this bad reaction, and I couldn't walk for a week. Well, it was coming from not the cleanest source, and it's had side effects accumulative over time. Next time you see me, come up to me and say, "Hey, can I grab your butt?" I'll show you. There's like knots, like I got a knot here and a knot here. And if I still limp around these days, it's because I've got these dang knots. It's just scar tissue, and yeah, they're not gonna go away. So that's years of abuse that I live with. But the infection part of it, and this is where I'm kind of rolling into peptides, is they've been infected like bad. I've had 10 hernia surgeries. Okay, lift up my shirt and show you at some point. I had like an alien sticking out of my stomach. Every time I had a hernia surgery, it'd get infected. I spent, 1 4th of July, I came home, I got on the airplane in Chicago to come home, and by the time I got off the airplane, they had to wheelchair me to the curb. I couldn't walk. The infection was so bad. Went straight to the hospital. They removed the mesh. It was the mesh that was infected. I had a staph infection, spent a week in the hospital, and when I got out of the hospital, I had a hole in my stomach that was that big and that was like that deep. The doctor just went in with like a damn butter knife and just cut the whole thing out. So I get home after being a week in the hospital, and I get MRSA. So I go back to the hospital. I spent a month in the hospital. I lost 60 pounds in a month, not the kind of weight loss that you're going for. And I almost died. I mean, there was an infectious disease doctor coming in at the Gilbert Hospital up the street. I'm like, why are you guys coming in every half hour? Because if it gets in your bloodstream, game over. So that was a fun part of my life. That's just one of several stories I could tell about getting an infection, something in your body that gets infected, be it mesh, injection, or whatever, and it could kill you. So I could share more detailed stories, and this was, over like a several year span, but 10 hernia surgeries. That was not necessarily related to this, but infections here and infections, I've just had a problem with infections. So here's where I'm gonna kind of roll into to peptides and people buying online at Chinese labs. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting. Now, before you chime in and say, "Hey, Brian, hold on, 80% or 90% of the raw materials come from China and India." Yes. Same thing with vitamin C. Okay, vitamin C comes from China. It's not produced in a lab. Okay, your cell phone, your TV, you know, the 80-inch TV you just bought for like $100. Yeah, it's made in China. Labor's cheap there. Buying a TV or an iPhone from China is different than something that's created in a lab. And if I have to remind you of what happened in, I think it was 2020, here's your son. Okay, kind of changed the world, and it was like a 4-year period, and the facts are, I think, allegedly it came from a lab in China. Allegedly. Okay, so I don't necessarily trust a lab in China, but hundreds of people are out there buying peptides from a lab in China. So I don't know, tell me if that makes any damn sense or not. The prices are cheaper. The raw material costs the same. So the raw material, the amino acids, and the way that the actual raw material, that's coming from a certain place in the world. Where it's compounded and where it's put together, you could have those raw materials sent to Wyoming and have a scientist that probably makes like $400,000 a year, that's well educated. They're running that lab. They're making sure it's, you know, super sterile, and they're meeting all the guidelines, all the U.S. guidelines for research labs. You've got that person that's overseeing the process, or you've got an 8-year-old kid that's making $2 a week. And I hope I'm not exaggerating too much, but I think you get it. Aside of the morals and the ethics thing, which is kind of important to me a little bit, but again, I still buy cell phone, or I still buy an iPhone, and I still buy, you know, TVs from China. That's how the price is so cheap. Okay, you just have to understand. So when you're seeing bottles of BPC or MOTC or whatever for $25 or you know, $20, single bottles, that's how the price is so low. Are you willing to take that risk? If you are, what they say in the South is, bless your heart. Is it worth it? Because, and again, there's somebody that's going to chime in and say, I've been buying from this pharmacy, and I've had 2 orders or 4 orders. I've been doing it for a year, and no problems. Fair enough. It only takes one time. It only takes one time that it's a bad batch, and you get an infection. And it is what it is. So if you're willing to take that risk, it's your body, it's your choice. But again, that's why the price is so low. Buying in bulk, back in 1993, when we were buying the Sustanon single dose injections, they were $25. When we started buying them for the whole team, then they became $12.50. I don't know why I remember that number, but buying in bulk. Okay, so the exact same thing, but you buy in bulk, you get it cheaper, which leads into, you know, a program that I have now that I'm just rolling out with my clients that are running experimental experiments on their kangaroo, on their lab rats, or on their whatever. When you buy like a 6-month supply, or buy, you know, 10 vials at a time, 10 vials at a time is called a kit. So when you're buying a kit, the price, for example, BPC, which is maybe $110 if you buy a single bottle. Well, if you buy 10, it's $400. So $40 a bottle. So that's quite a substantial savings if you're buying 10. So if you're wanting to get the cheapest price out there, and you find a peptide that you like and that you're going to run forever, Some of the forever peptides are retatrutide, MOTS-C, BPC, TB500, NAD+. I mean, these are all stuff that I take and that are like a multivitamin for me. Okay, so I'm going to take them every day for the rest of my life, or every week, or whatever. So when you find something that really works for you, and you're like, hey, that's my new multivitamin, buy them in bulk. You'll get a better deal. I'm looking at my supplement stack over here, and I'm trying to compare to like fish oil. Okay, fish oil, you can buy it on Amazon, or you can buy it at the grocery store, or the health food store. You can buy fish oil anywhere. $30 for a bottle of 90 or a 1 month supply, give or take. There's some that charge a little bit more, and some charge a little bit less. You name the supplement. If that supplement is X amount everywhere, and you find a company that's selling it for $5, that should be a red flag. Everybody else is charging this, but $5 is stupid. Or bag of protein. It's like 30, 40 bucks, 50 bucks. If this same bag was $2, red flag. I mean, oh, I'm really getting an awesome deal on it. No, what's wrong with it? So buyer beware. There was something else I was going to tell you about China. Oh, so during the pandemic, or right at the beginning, I get a letter in the mail. I was on a CPAP machine. And I get a letter saying, hey, there's been a recall on this particular device. It could give you cancer. Okay, so what do? I keep putting this on my face every night. I might get cancer. If I don't and I can't breathe, then I die in my sleep. All right, so I go to my pulmonologist at the time, and he's like, well, if you can't breathe, you die, so I hope you don't get cancer. Well, long story short, the manufacturer is from China. And it took 5 years for this machine that was on back order, for them to be able to give me a new machine. 5 years. 5 years. This is how, and can't buy the machine anywhere else. There's no U.S. companies that make this damn machine. Anyway, so if I get cancer, it might be from the CPAP machine. There's class actions, lawsuits. I might get a settlement for like 10 or 15 bucks after the attorneys get their money. But if that makes sense, I don't personally, and again, this is just me, is relying on something from that particular country doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So there was something else I was going to tell you, but videos at 23, 24 minutes right now. I'll let you guys go. I'm going to do more videos. If this is beneficial at all, go over to YouTube and Bulldog, BULLDAWG Peptides. I just put that channel up, and I don't have any followers, so it'd be nice if you gave me a follow. Actually, I don't care. That's not the point. The thing is, I can do kind of these longer videos, and if you want to follow and watch there, Rumble will be right after that. But I'll be able to do the long videos and give you more information, and I'll give you more science. Give you a little bit of science. There's a lot of people out there that are reading off a teleprompter, and they sound really, really smart, and they give you a bunch of terms that most of us don't know. But I'm gonna kind of dumb it down, because I'm a dummy, and just talk to you about just different stories that I've had over the last 20 and 30 years that might be related to peptides and might make sense to you. Oh, client after client's coming up. I've got a friend here in town. This is kind of off topic, but she's always posted on her Facebook, or has for years. I support my friends, and if they open up a restaurant, I'm gonna go eat there. And if they open up an accounting firm, I'm gonna get my taxes there. You always support your friends, support local. And she's watching my videos sometimes. And hey, she just jumped on Reddit True Tide. We had a conversation. Hey, where are you buying it? Oh, I'm buying it online. Like, okay, you guys. Anyway, the peps that I'm sorry, that's kind of off subject, but the stuff that I take, or my kangaroo takes, so some of these are FDA approved, by the way, so totally legal. And all of these are legal no matter what. It's legal for me to buy them, for me to own them, for me to use them, for me to experiment, for me to sell them. All of it's legal, okay? All of it's legal. These are amino acids. So it's literally like they're freaking amino acids, okay? So super healthy. They work the same in everybody. It's just called human biology. It's called science. Oxygen works the same for everybody. Gravity, it works the same. It's not like, oh, it might not work for me. Nope, it works for everybody. I've got a text message coming across. I got a friend in Colorado. He's like injured his shoulder. He's been taking peptides. He's been taking BPC 157. So he actually watched a video that I did the other day, and he's like, "You were talking about me." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe." He just sent me a picture of the bottle that he got, which is a 3 milligram bottle. And I'm guessing, his dosage is very, very low. Okay, so after 3 or 4 weeks on it, he's like, "Dude, I haven't noticed a difference." I'm like, "Well, send me a picture of the bottle." He's doing like a tenth of what he should be doing. So dosage is important. If you have a headache and you take a fourth of an Advil, it's not going to do anything. Okay, but if you take 2 Advil or 3 Advil, it's probably going to reduce the headache. So dosage is important too. So dosage, and you can't overdose on aminos, okay? You can't get hurt. So when I say double it, without fail, everybody is getting that relief. I'm working with just a few people that actually gave the peptides to. I said, I need a kangaroo. My brother was sitting there. I'll tell you, my brother, Christmas Day, and he's like, "Well, my shoulder, I've had these shoulder pains and it's all jacked, and they got me on like taking pain meds to manage his pain." I'm like, "Rob, let me give you BP 157, TB 500, and HK." Geez, I forget it. I give him like 4 or 5 different kinds. I give him a couple different kinds. And I didn't talk to him, and we loaded everything. And you gonna take them every day? Yep, I'm gonna take them every day. All right, inject in this area, twice a day, call me in a week. By the way, I'm not a doctor. I don't give medical advice. This is for kangaroos only. But he called just 2 days ago, and he's like, "They're working." He's like, "It doesn't hurt as much. Can I get more?" So that was my brother. My sister, my brother-in-law, my mom. She's fighting cancer right now. She's on chemo. She gets up every morning and she does her she does her KPV, and she does her BPC and her NAD and her ARA 290 and her MOTC and her Thyma Alpha 1. The neuropathy in her feet that are from the chemo. She gets up in the morning. I'm like, how you feeling? They didn't hurt last night. I had a tingling sensation, but they're not excruciating pain. They pretty much work for everybody. So it's dosage, and are you buying real shit? If you're buying something that's fake, you're gonna have 0 results. My sister, several months ago, she's like, I was really interested in NAD+, and I bought some on Amazon, and I did it for 3 months, and I didn't notice a difference. I said, well, just, they're orals, right? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, well, that's a scam. NAD doesn't work that way. You put it in, if you take it orally, you lose 94% of the potency just going through your gut. So throw them away. So if you buy something that's fake and you don't get any results, don't blame it on the peptide. It's just you got scammed. So I would never, I got my bulldog give me a kiss. Bubba, I love this damn dog more than anybody, like any human. My mom's up there too. My kids are somewhere down there. But this damn dog, when he jumps out of the bed, he's 8, English bulldog. They have known for hips and joints and stuff with older age. Sometimes he would be like hobbling around when I was back in Knoxville. I'm like, you know what? I'd give him some BPC and some TB500. Next day, he's doing sprints in the yard. So anyway, those are a couple stories to share. I think that's it for now. I'm gonna make my breakfast, 10 eggs, steak, eating clean, training dirty. My next video, I'm gonna actually lift up my shirt and show you this alien that's going on in there, and how the TB500, the BPC, it went from like sticking out to like, I've got abs. I'm like obliques. It's I'm 48 years old, and I finally realized this, that God put me on this planet to probably be about a 190-pound man. And for my entire adult life, I've wanted to be a 250-pound man. Okay, so going against God's will. And I've had so many health problems over the last 2 decades, from infections to blood to CPAP, breathing, injury after injury, because I was pursuing something that was not, it was out of pride and it was out of ego. And now that I've slimmed from 254 to like 190, this is like what God intended me to be. I'm healthier, I have more energy. The visceral fat is gone. Like my blood work is really good, and everything's tracking. I track my in-body, my body fat percentage, visceral, my lean mass, and then I get blood work done every other month. So the medical community says, do it once a year, maybe, twice a year. No, I mean, for me, it's every other month. At minimum, do it quarterly. But when you're tracking everything, then and you're taking peptides, then you can see the results. And all the markers just improve. And it's with everybody. And once you see those results, and it's something that's tangible, that you can quantitate, it's not just like, I think I feel better. No, the numbers are there. It's supported with the numbers. Then you're all in, and your health improves drastically. And who knows, you might not get sick, or have like all the different diseases that are caused by your insulin resistance being out of whack, your total body inflammation, your body being inflamed, The visceral fat is just the fat around your organs that are just suffocating you from the inside. Your mitochondria, and which is the ATP, is your energy source. And at 48 years old, I'm at probably half or less than half of what I was when I was 20. Okay, and that happens to everybody, and they call that aging. But if you're able to boost your mitochondria and your energy production and the ATP production, and you're just turning on this power plant in your system and the way that your cells are talking to each other and are activating, the sky's the limit. Those three metabolic breakdowns are the cause of every single disease out there. And I'm not mincing words when I say that. And do the research if you want to, or fact check me. But Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, diabetes, cancer, autoimmune, every single thing that you can think of, anything bad, any terminal illness or significant illness, the root cause is a breakdown in one or all of those areas. So if you're proactive and you just dial in all three of those metabolic factors, those key things, I mean, who knows what the potential is. So anyway, this was supposed to be educational / entertainment value. I can share a bunch of stories from the dumb shit that I did in high school to the dumb shit that I did after high school, and the journey that I've been on. And if you find any value in that, I don't think you're going to find a single person out there that has more years experience doing peptides or doing PEDs, 3 decades. And I've made every mistake along the way. So I'm coming at you from a place of humility that I've been a lab rat my entire life, and to my detriment. Okay, fair enough. I've some of my problems have really been self-inflicted, but I've learned. So now, gain from my experience. Let me give you the cliff notes. This isn't something that I read about in a journal. These are my real life experiences. So anyway, I've talked way longer than I expected. Have a blessed day. Follow me on YouTube and eventually Rumble. I do the stupid TikTok thing now. I never thought I'd get into TikTok, God. But yeah, I do that now. If you know anybody that's interested in peptides, have them call me. These arrive every single day. If I place an order before 2 o'clock, I do the overnight shipping. They're at my door next day by noon. You're able to buy in bulk now, 30, 40 bucks a bottle if you know what you're doing. I'm hoping that this is, I don't know what this is. Ooh, there's some new peptides that are coming up. There's one, I gotta tell you about this one. I don't think this is it, but it's for prostate repair. It shrinks your prostate. I'm just not really excited about having anybody stick a tube up my butt. So I am going to take a certain kind of peptide to reduce proactively the size of my prostate. Oh, something else. I'm going to tell you what this is later. A couple hacks that I've learned along the way. All legal shit, but probably stuff y'all don't know about. So I'll share. I do coaching too. We can kind of walk you through where you're at in your journey and give you some good direction. It's not free. You can watch these videos if you want to. They're all free. But the coaching costs a little bit of money. $2.99 a month, no contract. On that program, you're able to buy at pretty much at cost your peptides. So I'm trying to add value. I'm helping friends and family, and that's it. You know, buy them through me, buy them through someone else. It doesn't matter. Just don't buy them from somebody else and call me up and say, how do I do this? Please don't do that. Anyway, gotta go. Love you. Breakfast time. Have a great Thursday, and talk to you soon.